Tell us what the SEC is warning about.
Well, they're saying that they could file civil cases against Goldman, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan based on their disclosures of the risks of these subprime loans that were inside these bonds that they sold.
And why? I mean, some of these bonds you wrote in your story, some of these deals are from 2006.
Right.
Or obviously in 2012. I know these cases take a long time, but why is this coming? Why is this coming now?
I think that they want to really get as many cases as they can, sort of get a wedge in there before the statute of limitations runs out. I mean,
what is the statute?
I don't specifically know what the statute of limitations is for this, but it's typically 5 years or
5 to
something.
10
so
years,
it's been like
yeah.
4 years now since the financial crisis. They have to get their pound of flesh.
But it's hard to get their pound of flesh, right? I mean, you
Right.
have to indicate, the SEC has to indicate that the people at the banks knew that these loans were risky, and yet they were still selling them. And it's one thing to say, okay, loans from late 2007, 2008, but some of these loans are from 2006. So that's maybe a little bit harder of a case to
Right,
make.
but these loans, these bonds were highly rated bonds, and it's almost as if subprime loans, they're perfectly fine, they're A-rated, don't worry about it. When in fact, we find out just how risky these bonds could be. So what they're looking at are the disclosures and making sure that the banks checked off all of these risk factors so that the investors could say they made an informed choice.
But these securities were blessed, or they got ratings from supposedly independent credit rating agencies, something you know something about.
Yes, this is my don't get me started.
And on top of that, if you looked at any of these things, I mean, these were heaps. These were thick documents with lots of risk. I mean, I don't know the legal niceties of the case and specifics, but there's one thing that investment banks or banks had at the time. Now it was lots of lawyers, in-house lawyers. So I'd be surprised to see the SEC has its work cut out for them, I think.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see just how many of these cases will stick. Goldman said in its filing yesterday that it's going to be engaging in a dialogue, and obviously they've been talking to the SEC a lot these last few years. Wonderful.